It's Thursday, Thursday the 4th of May, and it's the King's Coronation this weekend. So I've been rushing to try and make my children some cardigans. I started them back in February, but then I helped my granddad put one of his big crochet blankets together and it really threw me off. So now I'm rushing to get them done, and I'm hoping that I will. I'm really close now. Oh, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. So I just thought what I'll do is I'll show you what I've done, and if I manage to finish them in time then I will let you know. But so the first one that I started was my son's. I just used red, blue and white that I had in my stash. I had this ball of variegated yarn that was red, white and blue that I really liked, and so I tried to use a lot of that, and then I mixed it in. So my daughter has this as well. That's this one here. It's just an acrylic, but I had a lot of scrap balls and I don't know where they were from. It was just yarn that I'd been given. So that's my son's cardi so far. So I used the granny square idea, and what I did was on the back I've just done one big one. So my idea is I'm going to use a crochet applique of a crown on the back here, and then underneath I have some ribbon. I bought this ribbon off of Etsy, so I've cut that to size. I don't know whether I'll do it on the top or the bottom, but the ribbon will be on there and then the crown will be on there. And I've started making the crown for my daughters, and I'm kind of using the idea from the Sirdar crochet along. This is the one I've made, and that's just scraps again. This yarn is really pretty. It's like a sparkly gold. I made a bandana with it as well, but it's not acrylic. It's like, I don't know, it might be acrylic. I feel like it's like a cottony type yarn, but none of the yarn I have has labels, so it's not very helpful, is it? But yeah, and then I bought these button packs on eBay, and in the button pack was this London bus and this soldier. It also came with a few other bits that I haven't used, and I don't know what to use them for yet. Let me get them out for you. I don't have the labels anymore, so that's not very helpful, but it was just, I think it was like a London craft embellishment pack. I'll show you the other one. So this is another button that comes in it. It's just the London Bridge. And then there's Queen Elizabeth stamp. The Cricketer Arms pub, which I assume is a London pub. Terrible, but I don't really know much about cricket or pubs. So there's a flag, and I said to my husband, why does this flag have all these white lines on it? He's like, because it says London. Oh yeah, it does. It blew my mind when I see. I don't know if you can see it. And then there's a Big Ben as well, and I'll definitely use that. That's really cool. But other ones I don't really know what I would use them for. Stamp's pretty cool. I guess I might use that one. But yeah, so the idea is on the back I'm going to put this crown and then the ribbon. So crown there, ribbon underneath, and then it's finished. Or crown at the bottom and ribbon at the top. And then the buttons I just got off of eBay as well. This yarn at the top is yarn that I got for my wedding favours. I knitted lots of teacups for my wedding favours with little sachets of sugar and tea bags in and little spoon with a heart in, so that was left over from that. But when I make these, I've made them before for my children with all squares. My granddad made the squares because I didn't know how to do granny squares at that point. So my granddad did the squares, and then I joined them all together and made them into a cardie, and then I knit all the edging, so all the button band. This is a faux rib, so you knit one, purl one on one side, and then on the reverse you just purl across, so it looks like a rib but it's not stretchy. And then this is a true rib on the end, and I do the stretchy cast off for it as well. But when I did it before, I had sewn all the squares together, and then it was really tight underneath their arms, so I had to undo it. So I added extra rows on, so you can see underneath I've got 3 rows, and I'm new to crochet, so I could be wrong, but I think that's a half treble. But I put a couple of rows there, and I noticed that the other ones that I'd made for my children would kind of pull back a bit, so I added some rows underneath the arm, so between the sides, so you can see there's extra rows there, and they would also kind of fall back. There wasn't enough on the shoulder, so when I made these I've added extra on the shoulder. But I don't use patterns to make these, I just make it up. I kind of do this. The other squares are tricky for me because you have to get the right size squares to put them all together, and like I've got 2 little ones, so my daughter is 4 and she's only just 4, and my son is 1, and he's not going to be 1 for very long, so I don't have the mental space to follow patterns, so I really struggle with that. So I just did the granny square and held it up against them till it looked big enough, and then based on that I then did the front and just did extra where I needed to. The arms are a bit long, but it's not going to bother him too much. So next time I will do smaller squares for the arms, but yeah, it's worked out really well. I just hope I get it finished because I haven't got very long now. And then this is my daughter's one, so she loves yellow, so we had to make yellow, and she's got the bus, same buttons, and the soldier as well. On her sleeves I did them different because she doesn't like long sleeves on things. So I just picked up all these stitches in between. I crocheted it. I did the extra on the side, but only halfway, and then I picked these ones up and went round, and then I started decreasing. And obviously I make this up, so I've done it. I'm primarily a knitter, and so I've done it how a knitter would, and I don't know if that's right, but I just decreased every other row on the bottom until it was like the right length and the right width. And then I did some half trebles I don't know, half trebles around there, and then because I wanted a break between the yellow and the blue, so I put the white in, and then I just, on one side I had to go all the way around and like do a knit 2, purl 2, knit 2 together, and so it was like every 3rd stitch would be a knit or purl together stitch. And on the other one I didn't have to do that at all, so I obviously did them different, but it doesn't matter. I don't know how I did that but it doesn't matter, once they're on it's fine. And so you can see with my little boy's one, that variegated yarn there, I wanted to include it in hers, so you could see they were kind of matched. So hers is just running along the sides of the band, and she should have another button in the bottom, but it was a chaotic evening when I was knitting the faux rib at the bottom of here, and I forgot to put a buttonhole in, so I'm going to have to go back and cut that, like steek a tiny buttonhole in. And then there's the back of hers, and the crown will be in there like that. So her crown, this is actually for hers. My son's one, I started with a chain of 12 for hers, and my son's one I have a chain of 10. And so I made the crown. I haven't followed the Sirdar pattern, but I kind of copied what she was doing. There's a free video on YouTube, so I did that. And so you kind of do like an oval cast on thing and then I've just added to it as when I've needed it. I've just kind of made it up as I've gone along, so hopefully it'll work. And please, I just need to get them done. But I was hoping to finish the Sirdar blanket as well. I don't know where. This is what week I've got up to. Week 2. I'm on the end of week 2. So that top corner up there, you can see the crown that they've done. I will get it finished. I was really pleased that I managed to snag one of these, because I actually have the label for it as well, which I know is really hard to get hold of. But this is as far as I've got. I had trouble with it. Oh. My daughter just came in there playing in the garden. So yeah, I had some trouble because I don't really know crochet patterns. When it said, say like 28 stitches on the side, I thought that included the corners, but I don't think it does, because I included the corners and then there wasn't enough stitches on the next round. So that's as far as that's got. So once I've finished the cardies, I'll work on that. I actually have a cardigan for myself that I'm trying to make. Let me grab it. Yeah, I have a cardigan that I'm trying to make for myself, but there's no way I'm going to finish it now. But that's alright. I enjoyed making the blanket that I was making, so that's the trouble. Get distracted on things. So that's as far as I've got for mine. So I've just made the back piece, but probably needs to be bigger. And then it's got the variegated around the edge. And then I've just started making the front panels. So they would need to be maybe a square bigger. But I'm a bit sad because I had bought this really pretty pin to go on it. It's just a pin. Yeah, like a brooch pin. So I was hoping to wear that. I made a dress for the Queen's Coronation, one of the first dresses I've ever made, and so I'm going to wear that again. But I would have liked to have made a cardi. Maybe I'll have a sleeveless cropped thing to wear, maybe not, I don't know. I have more squares that I've made. You can really see that variegated yarn. But yeah, we'll see if I get them made or not. So I just thought I'd show you. I'll update you if I get them made. I'll show you them finished. Bye.